check it out. We got the TFW Karambit here today. If you're not familiar with TFW, they primarily have Filipino weapons ranging from bolos to Chris's. We actually just did the TFW Moro Chris review not too long ago, so check out the channel for that, the TFW Moro Chris review, where I do some hacking with it. If you're not familiar with a Chris, it's the wavy blade, and there's actually an explanation of why the blades are wavy like that, so be sure to check that review out. Today we're going to look at the Karambit. If you're not familiar with the Karambit, you'll see it's a sickle type of blade. This one is double-edged. Double-edged blade. You'll see TFW's logo stamped in. Has two swords with their company name on it. What is the Karambit really? Some people categorize it as a sickle-like knife, like a Wharncliffe blade or like a hawkbill where it kind of tapers forward. Truthfully, traditionally in Filipino martial arts, it's not considered a knife at all. This is just a straight Spyderco blade that I carry. It's just a folding knife for utility. You'll notice very much off the bat, these are two very different tools right here. So what is the Karambit then? I mean, is it a knife? Is it a claw? It's actually a claw. It's designed and used for ripping and tearing motion. So traditionally, it was not used as an agricultural tool. That's a sickle. This size specifically was used more for self-defense, and it was used in the reverse grip rather. It was used in this grip. It's designed to be a tiger's nail, so there's more ripping and tearing and jabbing in the reverse grip. Primarily used in the reverse grip. You can use it in the forward grip. I don't know where people got the idea that you can't flip a blade around, a claw around to use it in this grip. But traditionally, the ones that were used on the battlefield were very, very long. You're talking about 12 inches in blade length. And those were used as last ditch. So you lost your sword, you lost your spear, and unfortunately you're down to your self-defense or type of sidearm. So blades would be very long. This one specifically is used for personal carry. A blade length of only 3 3/8 inches. You're gonna get more of like a utility feel to it and like a personal self-defense type of weapon. I was about to say knife. It's not a knife, it's a claw. So it comes with a hardwood scabbard. It actually has a belt clip on it as well. You'll see it has just like standard regular screws on it. You'll see these little nicks in the scabbard here. Some bugs got to it, so this one is a blemish. So we're actually not going to sell this, obviously, because we don't want to give you a crappy scabbard. That wouldn't be cool. So it has that belt clip on there. The handle, let me take it out, you'll see it has good retention. So when you take it out, there's an actual click to it. Because the belt loop, let me get a better look at this. See the indent right here on the handle? Alright. That lines up with this little lip right here. Okay. So when you put it back in, it actually snaps back into place. So there's a good amount of retention to it, but you can still draw it using the thumb. Be very careful with this hand, with your left hand. You can pop it out with your thumb. You push down the thumb, pinky goes into the ring, and you can actually pop it out very easily into the forward grip. So if you want to take it out in the reverse grip, slides out just fine. There's no gap in the scabbard, but still be very, very careful because a lot of, actually all TFW weapons are very, very sharp. They're razor sharp. All the way from their long swords to all their Filipino weapons, they're extremely sharp. So please be careful, take obvious safety precautions when handling them. So this is their rendition of the karambit, of this small karambit here. The handle scales on here are ironwood or kamagong. Very, very dense, very tough wood, as if you couldn't tell from the name of the wood right here. And if you're not familiar with the karambit, they have this ring on here for retention. If we're using it like traditionally where it's in the reverse grip. A lot of people like to flip these. A lot of people like to flip the karambits where you're in the extended grip where this is forward, or if you're in the closed grip for the tearing, or you get the double cut, or you get the double cut there. Some people like to do that. It's pretty cool. But one thing that people tend to run into with this is that, I'm actually going to do this with a trainer. This is a 3D printed karambit, so there's no edge on this at all. It's just like a hard plastic modeled after a different karambit. But what happens is some people, when they go to the extended grip and they pull it back right here, sometimes it actually hits them in the forearm. So to get rid of that, to solve that problem for you guys, I put a link to a video below the link for this this TFW karambit that's available at cultofathena.com. I linked it there so then you can actually see how to properly flip your karambit and get rid of you know, any type of like problems with that and develop your coordination. If you're looking to do the flips with the karambit, I would highly suggest use something without an edge on it. You know, you can get good training karambits out there. See, this one's just plastic, so you can kind of throw it around and play around and not really have to worry about, you know, thrusting yourself in the wrist. So overall length of this karambit is 7 5/8 inches. So it's relatively on the personal carry side. A smaller blade, smaller claw. If you look at a folding knife in comparison, get a good idea right there. The blade length on this claw or this karambit is 3 3/8 inches, and it's double edged. So some karambits are single edged. This one is double. This is relatively sharp, so be very, very careful on the back edge here. And then the main edge is razor sharp. Just like all TFW weapons, they always come razor sharp whenever we get them in at Kult of Athena. You have a very, very shiny finish to them. The ring accommodates any type of larger hands. If you're wearing gloves, there's still a lot of room, as you can see. It's not a ridiculous ring, like, you know, like the size of like a CD or something, but there is definitely enough room in here to where you should be just fine. Some people like the thumb on the top right here to keep it in line with the second knuckle lining, in line with the cutting edge of the claw. Some people like to hold it where it's more like a punching motion, if you're using it for traditionally how the karambit was used combatively. That's all up to personal preference for you. I'm just here to show you this quality weapon on, you know, what it does for utility and obviously traditionally how they were used. So how sharp is it, right? Because, you know, we haven't been doing cut tests lately, so how sharp is it? So we have this cloth right here, you know, kind of like a bandana basically. This is what I use to clean blades. So if we're here, you know, it's very sharp. As you can see, did just fine. Some people really like to do like paper testing. They like to cut test stuff and like show like, you know, it's hair shaving sharp, or it's, you know, it's sharp enough to cut through paper. So there you go. You know, that's on the main edge there. Like I said, it's razor sharp, and that's the factory edge. So they do a really good job on that. So if you're looking at blade for utility, if you're looking at blade to do any type of like bushcraft work, it's not the best for hacking. So you're not going to get a hack out of a karambit. You're going to get more of a tear, even with something that's very, very sharp like this. To compare this, we do not sell this one. This is my karambit. from Indonesia. This is all hand carved right here with the pins. I don't want to talk it up too much because we don't sell this one. But you'll see it has a very, very heavy forward curve to it. This one is pretty much exclusively used in the reverse grip. You know, it's a little bit smaller, and I'm used to it too. That's why I can kind of throw it around. But you'll see this one's very, very curved. And if we have the TFW one side by side, you'll see the difference in the curve. The curve is really personal preference and depending on what you're using it for. For example, like this one right here, it's really, really curved. Keep that in mind with the Karambit. It's personal preference, and it's best used in this sense in the reverse grip. This one you can kind of get away with it in the forward grip because it's not as curved. It's kind of more like a Ganunsing. If you're not familiar with a Ganunsing, it's a forward curved blade that the Filipinos use. So we have that. Steel qualities. Actually, let's go to the spine of this first. You'll see we have a very thick stock on this. Exposed tang. And finger grooves on the end. So the pinky goes in. The ring finger and the middle finger are all secured. So the grip is really nice on this one. As you can see, it's secured through the pinky. I have a TFW Northern Zanzibar blade review that just went up on the channel right now, where I talk about the grip being more in the pinky. So check that out, and I'll go into more detail about why we prefer in Filipino martial arts where you use the pinky, the ring finger, and the middle finger more than the forefinger for a primary grip. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tabletop review of the TFW Filipino Karambit. I really like this blade a lot. Razor sharp, nice handle to it, nice and shiny. So if you're interested in purchasing this blade, or you're also interested in learning how to flip your Karambit, click the link below and I have that available for you. The link to purchase this blade, this small claw, and also if you're interested in checking out the flips and how to do them properly. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it with your friends, anybody who would be interested in purchasing this Karambit, and just to check it out, something a little bit different. Filipino blades tend to be somewhat exotic in appearance and sometimes in use as well. They have a very, very creative way, very interesting way of looking at blade fighting. And glad to be sharing this review with you today. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon.